Hey everybody, today we are going to make some Douglas fir tea. This giant thing is a Douglas fir tree. Now, we actually make tea out of the needles. This is my favorite tree on the property. As a kid, we had one at our house in Aberdeen that actually split into two. And you see all these like little nooks and crannies. I had those green army men, and I could put them everywhere and pretend like they were going to war and all that kind of stuff. But now I'm starting to really get into ethnobotany, which is trying to learn about how the native people to this area used all the plants and everything around them. And this is one of the things that they did, is they made Douglas fir tea. Now typically what I'd have to do is go to one of the smaller trees and cut off one of the small little branches and then take that into the house and dry it. But because it's so windy today, we have all these branches on the ground right here. So like, this one's perfect. You see how green all this is? Like, this is good. So this one, look at how green all that is. So we'll be cutting off a lot of that, cleaning it up, and then making tea out of it. This is all you do, is you just find where the needles are. You cut off the branches here, cut here. Like, I'm just trying to find the greenest areas here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna rinse these off so that there's clean and there's not stuff like bird poop on it or whatever else may be here. I just rinse all this stuff off. I've got some water boiling right now. So then here we are. So I've rinsed all that off. Now I'm gonna cut it into pretty small pieces. So we're gonna go here, here, here. One of the things that I'm really fascinated by is how all the native cultures use these plants that we just never learn it. Like, I grew up in Washington State and never knew that you could make tea out of Douglas fir needles. And it's only now, as I'm getting older, that I'm starting to become more and more interested in ethnobotany. I'm going to take all of these and I'm going to put them in the water. Oops. There we go. I'm going to let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Then we're going to have tea. So this is a cheesecloth. So you can get this at a lot of different places. But so what I do is I put the cheesecloth over the pitcher here. And then I'm going to take this over here. And I'm going to use this. Now what the cheesecloth will do, actually I'm going to double this up so none of the pine needles get in there. What this cheesecloth will do is it's going to filter out the pine needles from getting into the jar. And I don't know if anything bad will happen to you if the needles if you consume the needles. Whoa.
Oh, that makes me feel great.
Okay, there we go, a whole jar. And what I'm going to do is, after we give some of this to Brie, where she tries it for the first time.
And I won't die, right?
No, you're not going to die.
Okay.
I don't think.
Sure.
After we give Brie this for the first time, we are going to ice it and make iced Douglas fir tea. So, Brie, are you ready?
Yeah.
Tell me what you think.
Is it really hot?
I don't know. And it feels kind of hot. Too hot?
No. Tastes like Christmas.
Yeah. Tastes like Christmas. How about that? Who knew? Douglas fir tea tastes a little bit like Christmas.
Well, you know what I like? It's really light. I was nervous it'd be very overwhelming.
But do you taste the spice yet? There's a little bit of a spicy taste to it, to me.
I don't know. No, like Christmas. No spice.
And I take spicier stuff than she does,
Yeah.
but
But I will say it is like Like there's like even smelling it, like this nice. I like
When I was reading about it, it said that the indigenous people in this area used it like a coffee, and I'm not sure what that
Really?
means. Like I'm not sure what that if it means that there's some sort of there's a decent amount of caffeine in it. If there's what that means, but maybe one of you can tell me. I tried to research it, and by research it, I mean Google it, and I found nothing about the caffeine content of Douglas fir needles. So
Yeah, I like that.
yeah,
That is perfect for the holidays.
for Christmas.
Yes. But if you live in Arizona and you don't have evergreens, no, pine tree. Huh.
There's pine trees there, but this is a Douglas fir tree.
Oh, Douglas.
Bree hasn't been investigating the ethnobotany of Western Washington like I have, so she's not as up to speed as I am.
Whatever. I know there's vineyards here.
Yeah.
Research that.
If you live in Western Washington or Oregon or the Pacific Northwest or anywhere where there's Douglas fir, go out you and make you some Douglas fir tea.